Hey everybody, Jeff Schneider here, and today we're going to talk about how skateboarding holds the secret to getting better at music. So here's what happened. Over the summer, I'm out with the kids in the driveway, they're scooting around, having a great time, and I decide it's time to go in the garage, take out that skateboard that's been gathering dust for years, and finally learn how to ride the thing. Now, I'm not especially coordinated or athletic, so it was no surprise when I hopped on the skateboard, I had to jump off after like a second. I got like 2 feet and that was it. Anyway, the next day, we're back outside having a good time. I get the skateboard and I go a little bit farther. I still suck, but I can go a little bit farther. Now, the point here is that as I'm trying to figure out the skateboarding thing, I got to thinking, the progress that I made on the skateboard wasn't made during the practice sessions. The progress happened in between the practice sessions. And that got me thinking about music because, I went to music school and I practiced 4 to 8 to sometimes 10 hours a day. I had this tight grip, like a physical and emotional grip on trying to get it right. Whatever it is I was working on, I wanted to get it right. And if I didn't, I beat myself up and I feel like a failure because I couldn't get whatever the exercise was as good as I wanted it to be. And that's when I realized, reflecting on this whole skateboard thing, that the progress doesn't happen within the actual practice session. Having this tight grip on trying to get it right is kind of meaningless. Practicing is essentially making the stuff that's sort of conscious in the front part of your brain and moving it to the back part. It's like converting short-term memory to long-term memory. Now, that doesn't happen quickly. That takes days. You need to sleep on it, literally. Like, there's so much science behind how sleep helps convert that which you learn into a more sort of instilled knowledge so that you can actually do it automatically. And that just ties into this idea of the progress happens between the practice sessions. I was watching this video on how the old Disney animators did animation, and some people still do this, but when you animate by hand, the way it works is you draw like the main poses, the main frames, and then you create the frames in between those main frames. Those frames in between the main frames are actually called the in-betweens, and that's where the motion happens, how you get from frame A to frame B. You have all these frames in between that create the motion, so it actually looks fluid. It's the same thing with getting better at a skill. It's all about the in-betweens. That's where the motion happens. That's where the progress happens. As long as you're using the time wisely in those practice sessions, not overreaching, not trying to go down that figurative ramp on your skateboard when you can't even go forward on a flat ground. As long as you keep your goals in check, you're going to make progress, and you have to have faith and trust in whatever's happening subconsciously. This was another big thing that kind of tied in with that like tight grip that I would have practicing hours and hours a day. What I forgot to remember is that there's a lot happening subconsciously. There's a lot happening under the surface. And by forgetting that, by losing faith in what you're able to do on a subconscious level, you're giving yourself less credit than you deserve. I think that's the right way to say it. What I'm trying to say is that trust in your subconscious mind to do the work. Now, here's the problem. Here's why I didn't realize this while practicing music in my, more recent years. The thing is, as you get better and better at a skill, the improvements are less obvious. Anybody who started something new and stuck with it for a little bit, you get that sense of, oh, I'm getting better quickly. And it's really fun. That's why starting something new is fun, because you see those improvements, they're obvious. And as you get better, you sort of have these diminishing returns on your practice time. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not improving. It just means that the improvements are more subtle. So that's why I kind of missed this whole thing more recently in music, because I've gotten to a point where as I practice music, it takes a little bit longer for those improvements to become apparent. Whereas with skateboarding, because I'm a true beginner, it was very obvious that I was able to go farther. So I'll leave you with one more analogy, and that is working out at the gym. First of all, when you go to do an exercise and you're lifting weights, it's obvious you have these physical limitations. Like I was saying before, you're not going to be able to bench press 200 pounds if you can't lift the bar without any weights on it at all. So you have to be conscious about setting goals that are appropriate for where you're at. The other thing is that you have to play the long game. And if you think about working out, you actually get worse as the practice session goes on. As you get further into that workout session, you get more and more tired. You actually get weaker. But what happens after you're done while you're resting, while you're sleeping and recovering, your muscles build back stronger. You make progress in between the sessions. It's the same for practicing music. It's the same for skateboarding. It's the same for learning anything. You have to play the long game. You have to have patience, and you have to have trust in your subconscious mind to do what it's going to do, which is learn. As long as you're taking care of your body, getting good sleep and all of that, that of course helps. So I guess the main takeaway here is to relax a little bit. This is advice that I would give myself, especially when I was in music school, making myself crazy, practicing all the time, trying to get it right, trying to get it perfect. I would tell myself to relax and remember that it's going to happen. You just have to give it time and allow yourself to progress in the in-betweens. And if you want to learn more about how to make your practice sessions as effective as possible, because there are techniques and strategies that are shortcuts to getting where you want to be and to getting your subconscious mind to actually do that work a bit more efficiently, there are strategies and techniques that really do help. I've got a bunch of courses and materials on how to get your music better, whether it's improving your soloing or improvisation, learning how to play better chords, more advanced chords on the piano. So you can check that all out. I'll link my course catalog in the description below. But until then, thank you guys for watching. And if you want to watch another video, you can click right over here and I'll see you over there. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.